Good evening all. How are we? Hope you're well. Hope your day's gone well, or is going well, depending on your time zone. My day's nearly over. So I thought I'd come and do a little flight stream with you all. Hey Wesam, how's it going? How's things? I've been busy today. Decided I'm going to start posting my shorts to Instagram and Facebook Reels. Hey, don't worry. No need to apologise. So yeah, I've been learning all about Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels and how they're the same thing but on two different platforms basically. So that was new. I don't really do Facebook, so I kind of feel like a bit of a newbie. So it shouldn't be a particularly long flight tonight, probably about an hour and 10-ish, give or take. Not a crazy long flight. But by the time we've started up and found our way to the runway, careful of my wing, food truck. Yeah, honestly. So yeah, we'll get fired up and make our way across to Vancouver. Should be quite a cool approach into Vancouver. We're sort of going to go past the airport out to the west and then loop back in around on final. Should be a nice approach. And it looks like baggage is all done, catering's all done. Look at the way that door sort of flaps. It's so cool. So cool. There we go. Right. Let's hop aboard and get ourselves sorted, shall we? Right, let's just do some basics. Parking brake is set. Battery 1 and 2 is already on. External power is already on. So, nav and logo lights. APU master on. And we'll wait for the start. Right, so we'll do the navs while we're waiting. Ah, the poll is 50-50. all my polls seem to end at like 50-50. Feels like my polls are some of the most indecisive polls on the internet. It really does. So we're just waiting for this button here at the bottom to become available. Oh, there it goes. We'll go APU bleed. Alrighty, let's I should have done this before. Let's get our plan in from SimBrief. There we go. And we will get our passengers loaded from SimBrief. I love how it does this now, it makes it so much simpler. I love how the plane sinks immediately as well when you add the weight to it. So after the shenanigans coming into Gatwick the other day with the live weather, I've turned it off today. So we're just going to run preset weather, which means kind of pressures will be standard, probably 29092 all the way, but that's okay. I don't know, I just don't know about live weather at the minute. I feel like sometimes I wonder if it's even worth it. I don't know. Right, we can do external power off now, because we're running on this. Right, fuel pumps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've done our nav already. Oxygen. And we're looking for white lights, I can't see any. Let's arm that. No smoking light on, because it is not 1990. Cool. No worries. No worries. Don't apologise. There's no need. You look after yourself. Alright, let's get this initialised. Fill in our flight plan again from SimBrief. Into the perf page, flaps1/UP01. I must look up what UP01 actually means, because I feel like I just type it every time, and I don't even know what it means, but I just know that I have to type it, if that makes sense. Which isn't great, really. Like, that is a definite hole in my knowledge that I'm just not filling. Here we go then. Right, our runway today is runway 29. There we go. Oh, we've got a SID. Where does that SID take us? I wonder. Okay. It's hard to know which one to choose. Maybe that one. I'm trying to find something that looks reasonable, you know? Let's just insert that and see what happens. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Let's get rid of this manual, shall we? First of all, I'm going to have a fight with this. I can tell. I can tell this is going to be a fight instantly. Let's get rid of that CYYC, because I'm not sure that's going to do us any favours. Oh, that looks okay. That looks like a sensible way out. Let's do that. So annoyingly, because I'm too stingy to pay for a... I can't really afford to pay for a Navigraph sub, I'm having to use ChartFox, and ChartFox just didn't have anything for me, really. Right, Vancouver, runway, I want to say 08, let me check, 08 right, yeah, let's go for that one, and we'll use this one, nice, that's worked. Let's see what this gives us. Yeah, that's okay. So what we'll do, we'll leave... We can clear the manual, because this waypoint is further beyond this one. If this waypoint was back here, I would be tempted to keep the manual. But we're going to come out and around. So this is when you need to sort of begin your final. Sometimes if your last waypoint is, say, this one, it would sort of come in round here and cut your final short as it bends in, but given that this one was beyond the final, we're in a good place. Nice, that's okay. That's a nice little route. Happy with that. Okay. Now then, if I was to tune... it's going to be 29902, isn't it? Local pressure, because I have turned off live weather. Not sure whether that's the best idea, but... I don't know. Live weather's giving me headaches at the minute. It is really giving me headaches at the minute. So what we're cruising at today, 380. And need to be above 4. And then we're straight up to 380. Let's just put 380 in the window. No point messing around, is there? This will be quite a short flight in that we'll probably get up to cruise, and then it probably will be time to come back down. Hey Foot! How are you? Haven't seen you in ages. Hey, lock the doors. Brass levers are at idle, engine switches off. Parking brake remains on, windows are closed, external power is off, APU is on, seatbelts are now on. Yeah, not bad, thank you very much. Not bad at all. Not a particularly long flight tonight, but still quite a nice one nevertheless, so hopefully you enjoy it. Right. As for the pushback, plan is to push back round about there without hitting anybody and then make our way down to runway 29. Now then, if I'm to believe the maps, should be following these taxiways down here. Not entirely clear, but we'll find our way, don't you worry. Right, I think it's time we say goodbye to the ground power unit and the jet bridge. Much obliged. Okay. I'm for some pushback, I believe. So we'll turn on the pushback system. Yes, we really do want to use it. Wait for Tug to come and find us. Parking brake off. Start our engine, shall we? Evening, Matthew. How's it going? Let's just check in this. All good, all good. Glad to hear it. Hopefully we're not going to crash into any of these planes. Challenge tonight, Matthew, is going to be finding the runway, I think. Doug, why have you stopped? I don't know what just happened there. Right, let's just tell the tug to clear off. We'll do that last little bit ourselves, I think. Yeah, we're trying to find runway 29. Or we will be. Let's put the engine switch back. We should be able to get rid of APU. We'll do our strobes to auto. Those lights to taxi. It's a bit dim, so we'll have the runway turn off lights. Alrighty. Crank the screens up. It's got to be there somewhere. You're right. I've got a rough idea where I need to go. Rough idea. Emphasis on word rough. It's armor spoilers. Speed brakes max. Flaps are already set to 1. That's good. Dare I say it? I think we're nearly good to go. Parking brake off. Just aim for that yellow line, seeing as Tug decided to get a bit weird on us last minute there. So I think it's down here. I think it's down here. So we'll just do a little corner cut there on the yellow line. Runway 29. Keep an eye out, yeah? Shout if you see any signs that I might miss. I feel a bit bad that we're not doing live weather, but at the same time I'm kind of angry at live weather, so whatever, man. Where's that map? I had a map. Alright, I think we take the first... Yeah, we'll go with this one. We'll follow the line. We won't go to the right. We'll keep going straight. We'll follow around to the left. Yeah, I've been having a nightmare with live weather, it seems, lately. Coming into Gatwick the other day, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, I think. So based on everything that we knew about the approach prior to doing it, we were almost certain that we were going to have about a 12 to 15 knot wind coming in at about a 20-degree angle to our left. So we'd need to crab to the left slightly. Come in onto final, and it's a 30 to 40 knot crosswind in completely the wrong direction. So the plane is crabbing to the right, and I was like, unless I've, you know, royally messed something up, this doesn't feel right. No, I thought, well, maybe I've kind of got the things back to front, so maybe it is going the right way, and I'm just wrong on this one. And then at about like 600 feet, the wind just changed instantly. I think it's down here, by the way. And then the plane sort of does that thing where it receives new weather. The plane like shakes and rocks and rolls, and then eventually we restabilize on the glide slope with like 300 feet to go. It's like, I just don't need that. What would be cool is if you could if there was an app, I don't know if there is one, if there's an app that you could input your sim brief plan into, and then it sort of divides it up into sectors, and maybe it could say, you can set your own weather at the departure airport, and you can set your own weather for, like, imagine like sector 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine it breaks up your route into like 5 little slices. It's like, what do you want the weather to be doing at each slice? Then it gracefully transitions from one to the other, nice and slowly, so you barely notice it. So it could be horrible pouring rain when you take off from Heathrow and you get down to Alicante in Spain, and it's like gorgeous sunshine, that sort of thing. And maybe you could take live weather at each airport and then just smooth it out on the way, rather than this craziness that we seem to have at the moment, where it just seems to do whatever it wants to do. So the runway is to our right, so we're going to take this turn here, and head on over to Vancouver. We'll hold short and we will just sort out lights. There's a couple of screens in the middle there that I want to just brighten up a touch. Hey, look, we made it. Runway 29. That was easier than I thought it was going to be, actually. Praise where praise is due for the map I found online. Alright, parking brake on a second. Let's get these up a little bit. Takeoff config normal. That's always a relief. Right, landing lights, or takeoff lights. That's looking pretty good. Local pressure set. I'll just say local pressure 299 on it too, because we're not on live weather. 38,000 in the window because our first waypoint is 4,000, then it's basically we can just head straight up. Speed, let's put 210 in the window. And then navigation is set to that. Flap set to 1, speed brake armed. I think we're looking good. Let's go and line up. Oh, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Hey, check this button out. Like and subscribe. But I don't like that flicker it does at the end. Here we go then. Okie dokie. I think everything's good, he says. Let's get over to Vancouver, shall we? Okay, Toga set. Nice bit of stutter there, thank you, Sim. Coming up to V1 and rotate. Oh, that FPS. What on earth was going on there? Gear up. Place. Look at it. Oh, that's annoying. Hey Europe, how's it going? Welcome aboard. Just had some terrible, terrible frame dips. Stats. There we go. The chat mod. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day actually. Then I kind of thought actually we don't seem to get many bots or anything at the moment. So I don't know that I need to really ask anyone to be mods at the moment. But should the need arise, you'll be at the top of my list, rest assured. It seems like YouTube's gotten way better at their filtering out the annoying people. So the map is going to be a bit iffy to start with because it doesn't know about the SID we ended up choosing. Oh, I feel annoyed about that frame drop now. I don't know why it does that. Just occasionally it will. I'm always confused as to why it does it. 10,000 feet, that went quick. Hey, it's too bad about that Virgin rocket last night. It's annoying, isn't it, for them? .3 hours. Oh no, you watched it live. I must admit, I made a point to remember it and then promptly forgot. And then by the time I heard about it next, it had all gone wrong. So I was like, oh, okay, it was kind of good that I did. Still, it's just nice to see a 747 in the air again, you know? It's, you don't see many of those anymore, especially with a Virgin badge on it. But the plane they used was called Cosmic. It's called Cosmic Girl now, but the plane they used was also called Cosmic Girl when it was in service in Virgin Atlantic. Because my initial thought was, oh, I wonder if it's the one that took us to Vegas. So I always make a point to remember the names and stuff of the planes that I've been on. A bit sad like that. Right, some speed brakes, flaps up, gear is up, standard pressure, lights off. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Yeah, the one that took us to Vegas in 2015 was Jersey Girl. I don't know if you remember the advert back in the sort of early to mid 2010s. It's kind of set in the 80s, I think. Everything was a bit dreary. Talking about strikes on the front of the newspapers, although maybe not so different to today now. And everyone's just like, you know, walking around, moping around a busy airport. No one's happy. Then all of a sudden, like, the Virgin crew strut their way through the terminal, and then it cuts to a 747, and they used that Jersey Girl plane in the ad. So it's I always thought it was quite cool that we got to go on that. I remember being shocked just how slow and undramatic the takeoff was. Like, you go in some of the smaller things, especially like an A319, I mean, those things, they really move on the runway because they're quite small. Just everything about it is a very slow sort of, the way you get going on the runway, start rolling down, and you just, up you go. There's very little drama about it. think in time, though, they're going to become a thing of the past, aren't they? It's a bit sad, really, though. I guess the market wants what the market wants. What do you guys think of the music on the stream, by the way? Because I ran a poll in the last stream and it shocked me. I think it was 60. It was at least 60% in favour of no music. Maybe 65. So it makes me wonder whether I should can the elevator music during the streams. I don't know. Did Virgin Upper Class? We went to St Lucia, nice, Caribbean. Hey, look who's here. Good evening, how are you? Unfortunately, we had the cast of The Only Way is Essex on the plane on the way to Vegas. That was a moderate inconvenience. It was such a pain. And if you're not sure what The Only Way is Essex is, good for you. Yeah, not so bad, thank you very much. Can't complain at all. Just trying to work out where I'm going to go tomorrow. Potentially I might have a little bit longer to do the stream tomorrow morning. And one of the regulars in the morning streams on Monday asked if we could perhaps do a night flight. So I'm just wondering where we might go, where we could maybe get a sort of take off, sort of twilight sort of time, maybe fly through a sunset and then land in the dark. Because my fear for the stream is that, imagine if it's dark now, we'd just be looking at a black screen basically. So I don't know if that's the greatest idea for the stream, but I would be keen to do it. So it'd be nice if just like the last little portion was night time, just to stretch the legs and try a nighttime landing, which I do struggle with. I do find those hard. And it's almost like I haven't got a good reason why, because I've got instruments, I've got pappies, everything is the same for the most part, but I feel like I rely loads on markers, just like the scenery, perhaps without realising it, and when they're gone, I really struggle. How do you make all the pilot take you trip to the destination? So do you mean how do I make the autopilot take us to where we're going? Is that what you mean? Those are some serious mountains down there. Look at that. Canada doesn't mess around with mountains, does it? Wow. Yeah, I always struggle coming into San Francisco. I always find that a very tricky approach, just because it's water all the way up to the threshold of the runway, almost. In 4 days it's your birthday. Oh, happy birthday. if this channel had members, I would gift you a membership. Do I have mods? Only the plane. The plane is the fly-by-wire A320neo, so that's the only mod we've got at the moment. I was looking at some weather mods actually, just because I'm very grumpy at live weather at the moment, as we were saying on the ground back in Calgary. Last stream, I mean, it was unlucky that it happened at all, but it was lucky that it happened when it did, if that makes sense. Had it been 30 seconds later, that would have completely ruined the whole approach. So the forecast was a crosswind from one direction, and instead we had it from completely the opposite direction, and it was like 40 knots instead of the advertised 12 to 15 that we were expecting. And then on final, just like hitting a light switch, bang, it changed. It's like, oh no. It just seems to keep happening to me. So I don't know what to do for the best, really. I like to use live weather because it feels a little bit more authentic. But at the same time, if it's going to mess me around like that, it's like, do I just turn it off? How much is the GPS we got? Oh, the GPS is free. So to be clear, that GPS and the stats you're seeing at the top of the screen isn't part of the simulator. It's a piece of software called SimToolkit Pro, which is a free download. And then you get these overlays that you can overlay in your streaming software. Finally recognise you, was great. Well, happy 15th birthday in 4 days. And I appreciate all the help with the 737, I really do. But that aircraft still stresses me out. Stresses me right out. Right, what are we doing? We're still not quite at cruise, are we? A couple of minutes we will be, though. How do we make the plane come down slow? So, I'll talk you through what we're going to be doing in a second. So this is our top of descent calculator. So we're going to be cruising at 38,000 feet. If we look at our flight plan, at Vitev we need to be at 21,000 feet. Or below, ideally, so we definitely need to hit 21 by then. So, how many miles is it to there? So we're 6 miles to the next waypoint. 227, so 333, plus another 6, 339. Interestingly, I wonder what this is going to say, because I think this does it as the crow flies. Not by track miles. 235, okay, that works. And we need to get down to 21,000. And if we do that at 2,000 feet per minute, 64 miles. So basically when this value here reads 64, or ideally a bit before, we need to start our descent. Don't mind me. Getting this out of the way. Then when we're on final, I mean, as a rule of thumb, if you're doing about 700 feet per minute as a descent rate, at about 140 knots, that'll give you about a 3-degree glide slope, which is not a bad place to start. you're going to get the FMC to buy that you can connect. Oh, what? So you can run it on a separate computer or tablet or something like that? You can do that now with the A320neo, I think. You sort of load a browser and then it loads that into a browser, and you can obviously run that on an iPad on a separate tablet or whatever you've got, you know. Could be cool. Still tempted by a Thrustmaster yoke. Let's do a price check actually. If it hits 250, I'm buying it. Still 290. Yeah, I just got new glasses. Let me tell you, it's so cool when you get new glasses. You just realise how badly you've been seeing this entire time. Miguel, good evening, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, really well, thanks, really well. Just heading on over to Vancouver and complaining about live weather as we do it. So I've turned it off for today's stream. So I'm grumpy at it. I've had enough. Still at 64 miles, it's predicting. Now we're at cruise and at our cruise speed. Hey, how are you, Miguel? Are you okay? Everything's alright, good. Good, 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 good. That's what we like. Oh, vacation. Nice. See a lot blurry, your eyesight long to realise something, yeah. So do you wear glasses already? So I recently got some like a couple of months ago and it was so weird. It was like I could see too much. If that's a way you can explain it. My prescription had changed so much in one eye that it was just like, whoa, I just felt so drunk walking around the whole time. I think it took about 4 days to get used to it. But now like everything is super crisp, I love it. How's that poll doing? Almost 50-50, of course it is. Is it me, or are you growing fast on YouTube? I think you have a few more subscribers. If you'd asked me a month ago, I'd have been like, yeah, we're growing like crazy. But the last week or two, ever since about like the 18th, 19th of December, it's been bad. Real bad. Just view numbers have been in the toilet on everything. It's really weird. Although I did see this morning that YouTube put out a tweet saying that they're aware of a bug where view numbers are being underreported. So I don't know. I don't know whether that's it or whether... I don't know what it is. The YouTube Shorts have taken a hit, like, massively. Like, occasionally you'd get like 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, maybe 12,000 on a landing video or something. And ever since early December, I haven't been able to break 1,500. And it takes ages for it to climb there as well. It might take like 2 days to achieve 1,500 views, which is fine. But it's a definite shift in behaviour. Again, it's like someone flicked a switch over at YouTube. Because it used to be you'd be at like 0 views, and then you would almost, the graph would go vertical to like whatever many thousand views it's going to go to. And that would sometimes be 10,000, might be 7,000, might be 12,000. You know, it varies. Sort of 3,000 was a normal video, and now I just cannot crack 1,500 for the life of me, and I don't know why that is. It's very, very strange. But I certainly can't complain. Nearly 2,250 subs. That's and to be clear, I'm not complaining. It's awesome where we've got to. It really is. I'm just a little bit puzzled as to why YouTube's done that. They're excellent, aren't they? They're really good for that. But there's been a definite change in behaviour. The cynic in me thinks maybe it's the fact that they're going to become monetised. So maybe YouTube is starting to pull a few levers to filter out some of the bot views, maybe. So it could be that all my many thousands were like bots, and now they're ruling them out, because if they pay you based on view numbers, then YouTube don't want to be paying you for bot views. Whereas at the moment, they're not monetised, so who cares from YouTube's point of view? But that's just the cynic in me talking. It's probably not that at all. But yeah, I'm going to try and diversify the content a little bit this year. I feel like last year got us off the ground, pun intended. And I followed quite a strict regime of kind of YouTube Shorts and going live. That was kind of my formula. I'd like to branch out a little bit, because I don't want to find myself getting bored. I want to try new things, you know. I don't want to get too set in my ways. So I did a full flight video from San Francisco to LAX, where I sort of edited down a full flight, chopped it up, made it into like a highlight kind of thing. Still ended up being like 25 minutes, which is actually only half of the entire flight time. And it's funny looking back at it now, like a week later, I can see where the mistakes were in the edit. So that's a whole nother skill set, really, is sort of editing those sort of montagey kind of videos, which I'm keen to do. I'm kind of interested in that. Oh, you like the channel banner? Yeah, cool. I actually only added that a few hours ago. I've been making Instagram profiles and a Facebook page for the channel today. So I figured I got my shorts, I might as well just re-upload them to TikTok and to Instagram and to Facebook Reels. There's kind of no reason not to, other than the small amount of effort it takes to do it, so. When did you start uploading videos? I had the idea about a YouTube channel, was it last year? So originally it kind of started during the pandemic. I kind of thought to myself it'd be nice to get into content creation. I used to podcast. Kind of got a background in iOS development, making iPhone apps, that kind of thing. And I used to podcast about it with a buddy of mine. And that kind of drew to a close. And then the pandemic hit, and I was kind of left with a bit of an itch to scratch. I kind of missed creating, and I didn't realise that podcasting was doing that for me while I was doing it. But when it was gone, I really missed that kind of creation side of, you know, making something, putting something out there, getting a community of people. So it kind of started it kind of started in the pandemic. That kind of thought maybe I could do something with gaming, because I'd just gotten back into gaming in like end of 2019, ironically because I bought a MacBook. So I bought the new 16-inch MacBook Pro when it came out in 2019, November time. The last Intel model, because obviously now they've all transitioned to Apple's own chips that they use. And of course, because it's Intel, it's basically just like a Windows PC in a fancy box. You can dual boot them and run Windows natively on it. So I installed Windows on the Mac, and I would kind of boot into Windows sometimes, do some gaming. Things like Counter-Strike, Valorant. I tried Warzone, but it just couldn't run it. And I kind of thought, oh, it'd be quite cool to get into some, maybe do some gaming, do some streaming. Not considering flight sim at the time. Which then kind of led to, well, if I'm going to do this, I kind of need a big gaming PC. And at the time I decided it'd be a good idea was in the summer of 2020. Nvidia were just about to launch new graphics cards, AMD were launching new processors, AMD were launching new graphics cards, so I was like, well, clearly I need to wait for this new stuff, it's like right around the corner. I don't want to spend like £1,000 on a PC only to have it. I could have bought like a PC with double the power for the same amount of money in 2 weeks' time. So I held on, and they launched, and I was like, oh wow, these cars look such good value. Like the 3070 was like advertised at $469, and it was going to be as powerful as the 2080. It was like $1,200. So I was like, this is the perfect time. But one thing I didn't consider was, of course, it was COVID, and then there was the cryptocurrency mining boom. And it was a perfect storm. Everyone was at home. Everyone wanted a PC. And then the shortages hit, and I just couldn't get the parts. Hey, no worries. Enjoy your dinner. Maybe catch you in a bit. So yeah, we found ourselves in a bit of a situation where I wanted to do this thing, but I couldn't get the PC to do it. By the time we got it built, it was like mid-March 2021. Then I sort of dabbled with some streaming. But not flight sim streaming. Again, for whatever reason, I just never considered flight simming as a possible avenue. Because I've always been into it as well. It's really weird. Like, I've always loved flight simming. But I always just assumed that I needed to be one of these stereotypical Twitch streamer gamers that plays first-person shooters, and of course you don't at all. I mean, I still like to do that, and I have a separate channel for that. In fact, after the stream yesterday, we went live on the other channel for a bit, because I didn't have time to do the return journey. But I did have time to maybe do an hour of Call of Duty or something, so we went over and a couple of people followed over, which was nice. We just hung out for a little bit. And when was it? It was sort of like October time last year. I uploaded one YouTube short of me landing a plane, quite badly actually, in Bristol Airport. And I uploaded the YouTube short of it. Almost on a dare from somebody. They said, oh, you should upload that, that's funny. And it got loads of views. I was like, oh, okay. And I got some subs. I was like, no way, that's weird. But that was on my other channel, not this channel. And I wanted to keep my other channel as my sort of gamery channel. And it quickly became clear that flight simming and first-person shooters, the audiences often don't mix, which is when I made this second channel to then dedicate solely to flight sim, and I kept my other channel as where I kind of try out new ideas and just kind of just have fun with it, not really stress about views or subs or whatever, you know. So yeah, I decided over the Christmas break last year, you know what, I'm going to give this flight sim channel a go. I'm just going to see what I can do in a year. I said it'd be nice to get to 1,000 subs in a year, and we did 2,000, which is just crazy, absolutely crazy. So we just need to work on the watch hours. We need 4,000 watch hours, and then we can get ourselves monetized, and hopefully pay something towards the electric bill, because all this flight simming isn't cheap on the electricity bill, especially at the moment. That I can tell you. "13 votes on the poll. Are you planning on buying the PMDG 777 when it comes out?" 62% say yes. Good for you. Right, hopefully the FPS behaves itself on the way in, because it did not on the way out. Doki 29092. Because we're not using live weather, I believe. Let's put 10 degrees on the ground. Again, live weather. Are we going to be able to tune Vancouver, I wonder? Yeah, it's too far. Could I do... What's it saying? Format error. Blue 9067. Yeah, but again, that's going to be pulling it from... to 60 and 5. Again, I'm not really sure this matters because we're not doing live weather. So we're 79 miles away from our waypoint where we need to be at 21,000 feet, and it's going to take 64 miles to get there. how long till approach? So according to the stats at the top of the screen there, you see it says ETE, it's estimated time en route. It's saying 15 minutes. Now I wouldn't necessarily believe that because we have to slow down. And I don't think it's taken that into account. But it will soon be time to descend. Down to 21,000. There we go. Do it 1,800 feet a minute. That is perfect. There we go. So the plane's starting to descend now. Goes. What's up this side? Clouds, clouds, more clouds. Slowly making our way down. Heading to 21,000 first. Let me show you on the flight plan what the plan is actually. That would make sense. Put it into plan mode as well. You can see what it is we're doing and where we're going. So, the waypoint, Vitev. So we're 52 miles away from Bouv. There we are. And we're going to go down to Vitev here, where we need to be at 21,000 feet, at least. Then we need to drop down to 12,000. But you see, we're in a range here, so we're going to be above 10, below 14. And we've only got 22 miles to do it. It should be okay. Then after that, 10,000, 8. You see we sort of come in, wrap around, and then come in on the runway. So 8, 5, 3. Remaining at 3, then pick up the ILS, and in we go. Just put that back into arc. Alright, we'll go, see you in a bit. Okay, so just coming up on 30,000 feet. Making our way down to 21. Canada is just incredible, isn't it, to look at? Never been. It's definitely on the list, though. It's on the list. I mean, I know the sim has its faults, but really, when you get a view like this out the window, you really can't complain, can you? It's a very good time to be a simmer. Very good time to be a simmer. Alright, let's jump into the cockpit and see where things are. Things are going to start happening a little bit quicker now. Coming up on our flight level 210, which is where we need to be at by Vitev. Then we can head on down to I can find it. Where are we? Here we go. Between 10 and 14,000. So we'll aim for 10, and if we don't get there, we don't get there, but as long as we hit 14, that's the main thing. fact, we could put 10 in the window now. Because we're allowed to go beneath 21 at this waypoint. And that might help us on the way down. If we get ahead of the aircraft now, save us chasing it further into the approach. Look at that. Canada's so pretty. So we also need to get our speed under control for the next waypoint. So it would make sense to, because that's going to take us a minute to descend and to get the speed under control as well. So we'll do some speed brakes. We've got 16 miles. So it should be okay. I think I'll pop the map off now because I think we can all agree we are very, very close to Vancouver. And it'd be nice to see a little bit more of the what's out the window the nearer we get. That's 250 knots. Now if I put these speed brakes away, is it going to keep at 250? No, it is not. Speed brakes back up. So not far to go now, 50 miles, 50 track miles that is, because we're going to sort of do a bit of a fly past the airport, so we'll see the airport out of this window, fly past it, loop around, do a U-turn, back in on final. So not far to go now. Coming up on 10,000 feet. Let's just see if we can tune Vancouver. Let's tune the ATIS. Wind 254 and 5. There's the airport down there. Temperature is 15. Altimeter 29902. 15 degrees, I believe it was. $254 and 5. Okay. Yeah, so there's Vancouver Airport coming on runway 08 left on an ILS approach. So if I zoom out the map a bit, you can see we're basically going to here we are now, come out around here, decel at this point, wrap around, in on final. Easy peasy, right? What could go wrong? And we've just hit 10,000 feet. So let's continue down to 8. And it's time to do some lights. Go. So we're heading now to this waypoint at 8,000 feet, but we need to be above 8,000 feet, so we can't go beneath. There's Vancouver. Looking at all that densely built up area, I'm starting to fear for our FPS. Didn't do so well coming out of Calgary, so I'm living in hope that it will behave itself a little bit more here. Down to 5,000 feet. There's the airport. There, I believe, is our runway. So speed into managed. Probably about time we activate approach mode. What is going on here? I daren't ask. So heading down to 5, then we go down to 3. Actually, let's do our speed at 210. Landing system on. We'll do auto rate medium. Excellent. Coming up on decel anyway at this point. First stage of flaps. Here they come. Should help. Kind of dirties the wing a little bit, slows us down. Always surprises me how much the gear coming out helps. Right, ready for some more flaps. Go. And the next. There we have it. Flaps full, speed under control. Very low visibility, but that's okay. Hopefully that'll clear up as we get beneath it. And we will arm the speed brakes. Not long to go now. Minutes away. Activate approach mode. Here she goes. Right, we've intercepted the glide slope, hence the GS up there. You can see the plane starting to descend to around 700-800 feet per minute. And we're just waiting for this other diamond to come into line for the localizer to keep us on the centre line. Now we do have a little bit of a tailwind, so we might need to flare more than usual. So also we don't have that air rushing over the wing in addition to our own speed. There we go.
2,500.
Get out. Okay, so we are stable on the glide slope and the localizer. Approach mode is on. Auto brake medium, flaps full, speed brake armed, landing lights on. We're looking good. We are looking good. Loco! Just in time. Just about to land. I'm good, thank you. How are you? yeah, we just need to keep an eye on the flare, I think. That's the only thing. I mean, it's 5 knots, so it's nothing really in either direction. Sort of margin of error stuff, really, I suppose, but better to be aware of it and not need it than need it and not be aware of it. Autopilot off. I'm in charge now.
1,000.
Right, nice and easy. Very, very, very small inputs. Because we don't want to overcook it, do we? Very easy to overcook it at this point. End up snaking our way down. We don't want that.
500. 400.
FPS, don't start dipping now. Goodness sake, don't start dipping now.
300. 200. 100.
Oh no, don't do it.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Well, that was lucky, given the FPS. Why is it doing that? It's so annoying. That wasn't bad. I'll give that a solid 8 out of 10. I just wish the FPS wouldn't dip like that. Why is it doing that? Always seems to be like, the nearer you are to land. Well, that's it. I'm going to have to buy the 4090, aren't I? That's all there is for it. That's all there is for it. Maybe we'll do a donation drive. Quite happy with that landing. It was nice that the weather didn't freak on us on the way down as well. That's like a luxury I've not become used to in a long time. Oh, the gates are right here. I love this place. We'll come to Vancouver again. Shame about the FPS in the last final little bit, but you know, what can you do? Doesn't seem to be any markings. Guess we'll just take ourselves in. Get the APU on. Seems to be a distinct lack of markings on the ground. It's alright, we'll let them off. Well, welcome to Vancouver. Hope you enjoyed the flight. No mod commands on this channel, unfortunately, because we have no mods other than the plane. Let's get the lights off, shall we? There we go. Parking brake set. There's Vancouver in the background. The speed brake's down. Let's turn things off. I love that sound when they spool down. Passengers, please remain seated. You just know they're getting up, don't you? Every time they say that, please remain seated until the cabin door is open. Everyone's up. Well, thank you for coming along. I did enjoy that flight. I really did. Shame about the FPS on the way up and the way down. Just it's like that first 1,500 to 1,000 feet. It's really odd. I'll have to look at my GPU drivers or something, see if there's anything odd going on there. But other than that, I'd say that was a nice little flight. I enjoyed that. Very pretty route. Still need to work out where we go tomorrow. Because, yeah, we'll try and do a night flight. But I'll try and do it so we take off in the light and then we get a sunset and then a landing. I mean, maybe we'll just go somewhere in Europe and I'll just fiddle the time. That might be the way we do it. But in any case, I will leave it there. Thank you all very much indeed. And like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I'll be live again at around... I'd hazard a guess and say 9:15 to 9:30 tomorrow morning. Hopefully see you then. Take care. Have a good evening.